It's March 1st, 2015. Shh, maybe they won't notice. And we want to know, is Deathstroke going to be extra vicious to compensate for arriving on a hot pink Vespa?
Did the man-bats in Gotham City just get a little bit sparklier?
All this and more is coming up next. It's Season 2, Ep 21 of DCR, starting now.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Distress Citizens Radio.
Everybody, and welcome back to another...
And we're back!
Oh, yes, that's right. You've been itching for weeks to say it.
Yes.
And then Reggie stole it from you on
Facebook.
I
know.
But we are back to another episode of DCR. Before we even start, just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the patience. I know the internet is really known for its patience and waiting for things. It's not very much a I want it and I want it now. We're very slow and patient, the internet as a whole. So I did want to say thank you to everyone for being so patient and understanding because of everything that was going on this end. But we're going to skip over that because let's introduce ourselves. I am Sean Lamont. I am a comic book reader extraordinaire. It's on my business card. But I'm also joined by my co-host in crime, the Punmeister General, Mr. Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
I am excellent.
I had all these timely Parks and Recreation names for all of us, and now it's so far past the expiration date on that.
Yeah.
People don't remember that show anymore. It's gone.
Comedy's all about timing, and the timing may be a little off on that one. But we're also joined by Sunshine, Bubblegum, Rainbows, the bubbly and effervescent Miss Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Better than I've been.
Yes, definitely so. Are you ready for some comic bookery, though?
Yes.
Do you know what we're going to be talking about?
Not a clue.
Okay, well, luckily, that's what we're here to do.
A lot of books.
Yes.
A couple weeks worth of them.
Well, just one, because we didn't miss any episodes.
No.
Remember, it's March
No.
1st, 2015.
If only.
Yes. Let's do the spoiler warning. Kelly, that was my handoff to you before, and then you kind of wandered off on me.
We're going to spoil all the books that happened in New 52, whatever week this happens to be.
Okay.
That came out on, I'm assuming, a Wednesday because they always do.
Yes.
So if you haven't read the books from March 1st or before the Wednesday prior, don't listen ahead because, we're going to spoil them all.
We're going to spoil everything.
Yes.
So you guys are properly forewarned. We are going to skip over questions. I am so far behind on them. It's ridiculous, but we're making up a little bit of lost ground over these next couple episodes.
Yeah.
So bear with us and then we'll get back on track. So without any further ado, Brian, what say we lunge forward into this week's books?
Sure. All right, I'm starting us off with Secret Origins number 10 of all things.
It seemed like a good place to start. I mean, it's an origin. It is a secret, I know, but we're gonna spread that secret.
We're a spoiler cast, so
we're allowed. And I believe we're starting with the secret origin of Batgirl?
Yes, we're starting with the secret origin of Batgirl.
Don't we already know this?
Do we though?
There's a secret part to this that kind of ties in with the rest of the story.
Yes.
So we'll go with that.
Okay, well, fill us in, Brian.
All right, so Batgirl is the daughter of Commissioner Gordon. She fought crime alongside Batman until the Joker shot her and paralyzed her. In rehab, she met Francine Charles, her new roommate Frankie.
Which is kind of a nice introduction for Frankie, because she was kind of tossed out there as she just moved in with her. And
she's like, oh, we did rehab together, and that was it. It was like a one-line thing.
Yeah, it was a very, very quick cast. That's how I know her. Now she's part of the cast now.
Mm-hmm. So they do a brain scan of her for an experimental procedure to map her nervous system. And the brain scan they took of her was when she was at her darkest and grimmest and broodiest. Ooh. And thinking that she could help everyone because she was paralyzed. And we see that the algorithm of her brain scan has gained sentience and is watching herself get happy and fun and enjoyable again, and computer brain Barbara is not happy about that at all.
Hal is very angry with her.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Barbara.
So, do we think this is Oracle then? It
might be
like
it might be the new version of Oracle.
The secret origin of Oracle, technically, as a sentient computer program.
Yeah.
Yay!
Huzzah! You can have your cake and eat it too. So, the next one is Firestorm. It recaps the entirety of the Fury of Firestorm series, which is very good because I did not read it. He is two different people combined into one. Ronnie Raymond is a goofus, and Jason Rush is a gallant.
Oh,
so
I see where you're going there.
And he gets the power to set his head on fire by.
That's not really.
Yeah,
that's not really his power set. It's
I was hoping. I know. Like 3 weeks ago, Kelly made a joke that she wanted to use specifically for this, but she probably doesn't remember it anymore. Do you?
Oh, yeah. The secret origin is really cinnamon jelly hearts. Like, but the bottom of the bag of cinnamon jelly hearts.
Oh, you mean the one that killed Brian?
Yes. Yes. Firestorm gains his powers by eating the cinnamon jelly hearts at the bottom of the bag that have been stewing in the juices of all their fallen brothers. If anything, Sean Chen drew this and it looked really nice.
It really did. I did remember that once you gave me a minute.
Actually, a lot of the art in this one looked really, really nice.
Oh God, we're going to get to the best one in a minute. So yeah, he can transform things when two people combine. Kind of like a, cut rate Captain Planet style.
Just two?
Just two, yeah.
And, so they just have
no kid hanging out with a monkey.
Fire.
That's
and
why he's
fire.
Not. Yeah. Finally, closing off, it's Poison Ivy. It's a really cool Poison Ivy story about her, quote unquote, helping an organic farmer whose crops are being infected by, neighboring farms spraying chemicals on their super GMO corn.
Oh.
And they're suing her for stealing their ideas because their chemicals are getting on her corn. So it's like, oh, she's stealing our copyright. This is a thing that happens in farming these days, apparently. Very timely.
Wow. I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah. So Pamela Isley infiltrates the corporation using her pheromone powers on their CEO and taking over and telling her origin story. She kills the CEO by forcing him to eat his corn seeds and growing it inside of him.
Yes.
Huzzah!
Lovely.
Yeah, so Poison Ivy, she does what she needs to help plants and stuff.
Stunning
artwork by, I don't know if I'm going to butcher this, but it's a Stjepan Sajic. He drew it. It looks amazingly nice.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh man, DC, you should totally lock that down.
I think it's Sajic.
Maybe.
I think so. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah, but, oh gee, let's see what Stefan's doing now. Oh, he is the new, regular artist on, Rat Queens. So.
Surprise, surprise.
So good job there.
Apparently he found some work.
He really likes, looking at his DeviantArt, he apparently really likes to draw fantasy stuff.
Well, then that's
it's a shame there is not a fantasy themed, team that he could have been drawing for DC.
Yeah, if only.
Involving a lady who's really good with horses. Or a demon of some sort. I don't know.
Or I'm going to use my crystal ball and look into the future. Mm-hmm. Possibly like a revisitation to Gemworld. Because that would have been really cool. Like if there was maybe in Future's End sometime down the line.
Yeah.
There was a really cool, prologue to an awesome story that could work. He would have done great work for that as well.
Yes. Sword and sorcery.
Sword. But yeah, it was actually a really good issue of Secret Origins as far as, not only a big twist when it comes to the whole Batgirl storyline that's going on. I hope they recap that or at least explain it a little bit in the Batgirl issue. I sincerely do because that's a huge turn. And then some, you get a Firestorm origin.
Yeah.
Hey, he's timely. He's all popular with the TV show.
Yeah, he's on the TV show now, but doesn't have Martin Stein.
No,
whoever that dude is that's playing him. That's pretty awesome.
Yep. So
or the internet beloved Madison Payne version.
Of course. Well, we're gonna leave fire behind.
Okay.
And go for water because I have Aquaman number 39. Huh? How's that for a segue? Huh?
Sure.
Yeah. Where we're dealing with the fact that Arthur, Aquaman, is trying to find his mother because he believes she was dead. The entire city of Atlantis, the magic that powers it, says, no, you're not supposed to be king. There's still someone ahead of you in line. And when he went to check her tomb, he found it empty and he has been jet-setting around the world of DC Comics, finding out the secret history of Atlantis. A lot of weird little nooks and crannies that have links back to Atlantis, and in just the last one, he found the portal, the Stargate code that he needed to get to where his mother had went, and that's where he is now, which is on this volcanic island surrounded by a maelstrom. Title drop.
Yeah.
And
But
there,
not the maelstrom from the others.
Not the maelstrom from the others. There he finds his mother, who has what's a good way? Taken all of the purple-eyed people. Like all of the people with purple eyes.
All the one-eyed, one-horned flying
No.
Okay.
No. Just the people with purple irises, and has brought them to safety because I guess they were persecuted in Atlantis. This has a little bit of a history when it comes to Aquaman, doesn't it? Wasn't Aqualad one of them at least?
No clue.
I believe he also had purple eyes as well. That was one of his distinguishing features. So
okay.
This is calling back to something at least. And she has taken all these people and hidden them there, and Arthur finally finds his mother, and he goes, "Mom, it's me, it's your son, don't you understand?" And she's standing there looking all like crazy, warrior queen, like, raw, I'm gonna crush things, and even Mara's like ribbing him in the side, like, "Dude, your mom looks good for how old she is." And she, of course, does not believe. Lies! You are not my son, my old husband, King Orvax, killed them. So I, in turn, killed him and then escaped from Atlantis and led all these people to safety. And she ends up knocking out both Mara and Aquaman and dragging them inside her base, inside the volcano, that happens to be Karaku, the living volcano god. And he is going to, she is going to, Joe versus the volcano style, sacrifice them to the volcano god. You will have Nom Nom's volcano god.
Does she have all the orange soda cans?
She does have all the orange soda cans. They are, though, able to break free and take the Queen's advisor, quote unquote, captive, basically just to escape so they can ask her questions while they're running. And she fills him in that she probably even knows that Arthur actually is her son, but she just can't accept it, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, we better pull back for now. And they start running for the beach. And as they're getting there, the portal opens up, and out steps Tula and Neil, the leaders, the warrior leaders over in Atlantis. Neil.
Okay.
Who have led the Atlantean army through the gates, and they're like, there they are, let's get them. Oh, they're being chased. And Arthur and Mara are going, no war. We don't want a war between these two groups. But unfortunately, there are bigger problems as, the two armies start to clash because Karaku, the living volcano god, did not get his Nom Noms, and he is quaking and stepping out from the volcano looking for food. Kind of a big turn for Aquaman. Not exactly where I expected this family reunion to go, with Karaku, the living volcano god, stepping out to eat everyone in sight.
Well, what did you expect was going to happen?
I don't know. Maybe like a mom, it's me, your son, and then maybe some hugging and maybe a single teardrop down the side. Mara standing off, proud on the side, like, yeah, I helped make this happen. That's kind of a Kodak moment, not raw living volcano god stompy stomp stomp.
Does he just look like a giant volcano with an eyes in the mouth?
He looks like a giant magma monster.
Okay,
yeah,
that's not as
he
fun.
lives inside the volcano.
Oh, well,
it's not really like an actual volcano.
He's not really like a living volcano.
Well, I mean, he kinda is. The important part of the volcano, at least, all the liquid hot magma.
Okay.
So I guess he's more of a magma god.
I just want him to look like Mount Wanahakalugi.
Well, move us on here, Brian.
All right, Gotham Academy number 5.
Oh,
Holy crud.
I forgot.
All right. So Olive Silverlock has been investigating secret passageways in Gotham Academy and has found Killer Croc creeping in the walls because her mother, Sybil Silverlock, told him to look after her after the big Arkham breakout.
Yes, because she was living in Arkham Asylum, and now she's over in Arkham Manor, as we know.
So he's about to tell her everything when suddenly Maps is lost in the waltz too, and it's amazing! Oh my gosh, you guys! Olive, where are you? This is so cool! So Croc gets spooked, and he's not gonna go back to Arkham, so he goes running off. They give chase, and they wind up in this weird crossroads full of, like, glowing mushrooms.
I'm sorry, the fact that when Killer Croc ran by Maps, she's going, it's a lizard man. They're really tough to fight, and they drop really bad loot, so I'm not gonna fight him.
Yes. She is so... I guess if you're living in Gotham, you do become kind of nonplussed by the gigantic lizard men. So they wind up in this crossroads full of glowing mushrooms and a gigantic, mysterious Gotham Academy symbol. They try to follow him, but he went to the North Hall and blocked his pathway.
Oh, sneaky bugger.
Mm-hmm. So they need to find him and get back into the North Hall. So the team of Olive, Maps, Colton, and Pommeline get back together, and they need to stage a break-in of the North Hall during the school dance so no one will notice what's going on.
We need Jimmy Olsen on the team for Olsen's 11 while they all break in.
Yeah, so Maps' brother, Kyle, finds them planning, and he's super mad until Olive distracts him by asking him to the dance. Awkward.
But she actually did want to go to the dance.
Yeah. They all go with their dates and find excuses to break off. My favorite being Colton bribing a first year with fireworks to get Kyle off of Olive.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty cute. So, first they have to go into Headmaster Hammer's evidence room so Colton can get his bag of tricks back. And Maps finds a crossbow for Olive. There's just a crossbow in the evidence locker of the school.
Maybe Huntress went there for a little while.
Maybe she did. So I think there's a joke on The Simpsons too. It's like here, Bart, you can have anything you want from my detention, confiscation room. And he's like, oh, anything? And then he picks up a crossbow. He's like, whoa. And it's like, whoa, no, not that. I don't even know how that got in here. So on their way back to the girls' dorm to go through the secret passageway, Olive sees a Batman silhouette coming across the sky. So she breaks off and shoots it with a crossbow.
Well, she has some sort of bitter vitriol with Batman.
Yeah, she does not care for Batman. I'm assuming probably because he put her mom into...
Well, yes, I would assume that's what it is as well, but obviously they're still not explaining what the exact situation was at that time.
Yeah. But it turns out it was not Batman. It's a man bat!
Or is it a boy bat?
It's a sexy man bat is what it is.
Bat is what it is.
It's Tristan, the hunky Twilight guy that we've been seeing just kind of randomly paying attention to her throughout the series.
So he's sparkly?
He's not... he's theoretically sparkly. He's more virusy. He has the Langstrom virus.
He's really good at corporate economics.
Yep. So he was brought there because some of the teachers were looking for a cure there. And over the summer, he saw Olive wander off to the North Hall in a trance, and then the whole place caught on fire. So he man-batted up and saved her, and gave her to Professor McPherson, and McPherson asked him to keep an eye on her because she was afraid, oh no, someone's coming, man-bat away! Someone always shows up right when a very crucial plot point's about to be being told.
I'm now... From now on, whenever he shows up and leaves, I'm just going to have in the back of my head, man, bat away!
Yep. So she joins up with the crew, and they head back to the tunnels and blast their way through the rock with some wicked M80s. And Pommeline gets her phone back, which she dropped a couple issues ago.
Yep.
She was like, oh, the screen's just cracked. This is perfectly fine. I thought that was amusing.
Yes.
And they meet back up with Croc, and they brought food so they won't scare him. So what does he do? He eats his gigantic turkey leg and regales them with stories of the time he threw a rock at Batman. Just in case they were not making this book more for me, here you go. Hey Brian, when Carl Kerschel goes away for a few issues, want a Disney artist to draw it for us? Oh my gosh, yes, please.
Dude, that was a lot of arm waving.
Yes, there was. This book makes me turn to Kermit the Frog. I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. I was just like, you're Kermit the Frogging again.
Yeah, I've got Muppet arms. So, apparently there's a giant underground tunnel from Arkham Asylum to a children's school that Olive's mom told him about, and he's been using the burnt-out North Hall as a hideout. He's about to tell her more about her mom when suddenly smoke bombs. It's actual Batman.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I love the face drop on Killer Croc. Like, oh, man.
Not again.
But even, I just don't understand. The Killer Croc is so fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just another instance of him popping up and being this character. He's had one of the biggest arcs across the New 52 of all the characters. And here he is at the end being a nice guy trying to help out, and Batman's going to show up and punch him in the face.
Yep.
Never works out for this guy. I almost feel bad for Killer Croc entirely.
Poor guy, he's just got a bad skin condition.
No, it's like having acne, and then every time you step outside, some dude in a bat costume punches you in the face.
I've got a mild case of psoriasis. Oh no! Why? Batman! Why you gotta be like that?
Ah, poor guy. He hasn't even eaten anyone in so long.
No.
So long. He's been trying.
He has eaten people, though.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm just saying it's been such a long time since
he did capture a dragon at one point.
Rode away on it like Falcor.
Yep.
Chased all the bullies that chased him around as a kid into a dumpster.
Yep.
It's a magical moment. I think that was the turn for him.
Yeah.
When he got his revenge against the bullies that were in the alleyway, and he felt better about himself, and now he's been okay ever since. God, Katana. 2 thumbs up, way up.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're into D&D, even as a side sales thing, I was telling Brian about this. I went to a different local comic shop here, and I was commenting because they had all the Gotham by Midnight stuff up all over the place. And I was like, yeah, cool. It seems like you're pushing the Gotham by Midnight. And he's like, yeah, but what about Gotham Academy? Have you read it? Have you read it? And I'm like, yes, I've read it. And it was very funny. But yeah, he was setting up everything next to the Dungeons and Dragons stuff because of maps having such a close tie there. So it's more than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is a nice in if it is something that another hobby that you know runs tangent with comics a lot. A lot of stores carry both. So this is a nice mix of the two with that particular character.
Yeah.
So jumping forward, I have Deathstroke number 5. Which, if you guys recall, in Deathstroke number 4, we ended with the start of a showdown where Harley Quinn had set up Deathstroke and murdered a bunch of teachers and left Deathstroke's sword in the bodies, and then went, oh no, Deathstroke killed a bunch of people. Who will stop him? And that's when Batman showed up, and it was basically well, I guess we're gonna have to throw down now. And that's what the majority of this issue is. I could really short sell it and say this is a bar brawl between Batman and Deathstroke for probably 12 of the 20 pages. That's selling it very, very short because each and every panel is meticulously broken down with Deathstroke describing the counters and counter-counters and what he's doing to try to get Batman off his guard and everything like that. And the art is meticulously showing each one of these steps and movements. It's actually a really fascinating breakdown of a fight scene. It's fascinating, and it looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning.
Who's been doing the Deathstroke book?
Tony Daniel.
Okay.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah, and it looks really, really good. So, as I said, I don't want to sell it short and say it's just a bar brawl between the two because it is very technically expertly done, both art and the dialogue of him explaining what he's doing. It matches up very nicely. But the fight does come to an end when Harley leaves a giant pile of alarm clock bombs right in the middle of their battle that they're having and detonates it, bringing the building down on both of them. Whoopsie. Deathstroke does climb out and is about to kill Harley Quinn when she says, hey, we're squaresies. I just wanted to get revenge for that whole thing with the Suicide Squad where you left us in Russia and we're kicking us around quite a bit. So, even Stevens, and he went, yeah, I guess, but why should I
I'm
not
a big
kill
Shia
you?
LaBeouf fan, why not?
Yeah. And she goes, well, I happen to know where your son is going, Jericho, so if you want me to lead you, I can do so. And he goes, oh, well, why didn't you say so? She goes, well, hop on my little getaway car, which happens to be a hot pink Vespa, and he has to ride bitch on the back of the hot pink Vespa as they go up around the corner. Batman climbs up out of the rubble just to see them zizzing off around the corner. Doesn't give chase. He's like, oh, they've gotten away this time. I'm like, dude, they're on a Vespa.
You can
catch them on foot.
A slight power walk, you can get up to them.
But no,
as she goes and shows Deathstroke Harley Quinn's Rome.
Yes.
The cobblestone streets are so lovely this time of year.
But it ends this particular issue where nearby Rose has led Jericho to meet someone who could possibly help him. Someone that she believes was a friend of her father's, of both of their fathers, and is willing to help them out. And it turns out to be Possum. It's like, hey guys, I wasn't dead.
Hey, Possum, I'm hanging out with the Velvet Fog and all those other guys.
But he uses that strange sound device once again that incapacitates Jericho, but is immediately immediately, before he could do anything else, decapitated by Grandpa Deathstroke. Odysseus, in this case, is what he's going by.
Okay.
It's Deathstroke's father. And he chops up Possum into a bunch of little pieces and goes, finally I found you. Now you can come back with me and be part of my family. And I'm assuming Possum is playing Possum?
Yeah. In several different places he's
there's
being
like
Possum.
a limb over here and his head's in Odysseus's hand, and I just wanted to see that last page where it's just Possum winking at the camera where he's like, oh, no one knows that I'm just playing Possum.
Yeah, you can't really play Possum.
Maybe he's the
He
great-great-aunt.
He got shot in the face last time. It was fine. So
Maybe he's the great-great-grandson of Arm Fall Off Boy.
maybe he is. Maybe he is. Well, wouldn't he be
Grandfather.
father? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless we're doing Benjamin Button Arm Fall Off
Yeah.
Boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So next up, Brian, what do you got?
Red Lantern's 39.
Oh, that's right. I had to hand this off to you.
Yeah, I know you really wanted it.
I did want this one.
So Guy Gardner, he's walking across the country, kind of like Superman did that one time.
Yeah.
To
I was
learn
going
about
much
himself
more kung
or something.
fu,
Nah,
but he's just walking the earth now.
he's wandering the earth like Cain, yes. So Guy Gardner comes across a town that is terrified of a baby.
Understandably.
That seems to have murdered a crap ton of people.
A little less understandably.
Yes. So the baby's name is Danton Dexter Dibble III.
Well, that
That's
could
a
explain the
terrible
rage.
name.
Yep, that would explain the rage right there. But his family died in the Atrocitus attack, and it turns out there's a gigantic rage parasite there too, and it infected the baby, and it possesses the baby, and Guy Gardner has to fight a baby.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry about everything about this issue. Who's writing these right now?
I didn't write it down.
Okay.
It's been so long.
I'll
couldn't just
find
pull
it here. Let me find the issue. But he clearly has been dealing with a 1-year-old himself, because this baby is... obviously, he knows that these 1-year-olds are just vicious
Yeah,
creatures.
it's Sean v. Liam. I know. It's the unnecessary headbutts, the fighting, the clawing, the scratching, the punching.
Yes, and the constant scowl across the face whenever you show yourself, and then followed by the kicking and the biting and the lamprey face right onto your cheek, and the usual.
So
my nephew loves me. Huh?
yeah, he loves me. I don't know what's wrong with
This is the same child of yours that clubs me over the head with sticks and stuff whenever I'm playing with the kids.
Yeah, he does do that, doesn't he? He loves us.
He loves us.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It might be you, Sean. You and babies. I don't know. It's like
I'm not liking this breakdown here.
our son loves us, and your son loves us.
Mutter, grumble.
So he shows the baby a video of him and his mom, and he calms down enough to suck the rage parasite out of him with his red ring. And Guy Gardner then leaves the town with the angriest baby in the world strapped to his back in a baby Bjorn.
Yes! Now it's going to be Guy Gardner and a rage baby.
Yes.
And a rage baby. Come on. What more do you want from this?
They need to come across, the hate kitty.
Well, they're going to get a family pet. He needs a rage wife, and then the rage cat, and he'll have a nice little mid-American family thing going there. Honestly, after the last issue that they did, Landry Walker here, I found the issue. I had to dig it out. But that last issue he did, he's doing these last 3 issues before Convergence, before this particular series ends, after, Soul dropped off of it. Charles Soul. We still love that guy.
Yeah.
But that last one was so dark and so just, look at the
sadness.
Yeah, the torment and the sadness that Guy Gardner, after all of that space biker gang stuff, and he lost everyone he cared about, and he's just going through so much. And then this issue, I'm like, oh, okay, I was kind of expecting just more torment and rage and him just trying to deal with this stuff. And now we're dealing with a rage baby? Okay, fine. I guess we're getting back to the, what was fun about it before, that tongue-in-cheek rage.
Yeah.
Really liked this issue a lot. Really, really liked it. It was called Hush Little Baby also, so I thought that was a very apt title. Moving on though, I have Sinestro number 10. Sinestro! Really nice guy, if you didn't meet him before. He was fighting against Mongol. Guess where they were fighting? At Warworld.
Yeah.
Warworld, where he had basically taken down Mongol and was about to stop him. when he was actually captured by the Apex League, someone that it looks like Mongel's has brought them on board as part of his crew because they're out there trying to fight the Paling, that anti-emotion cult that's out there in the cosmos, and they're looking for more allies, and Mongol said, well, I'll help you guys out if you help me take down Sinestro, so they signed on to help out. And they end up capturing him and taking him back inside of War World, but before they can do so, Sinestro is able to get off a distress call, and I have to laugh so very hard about this because even Sinestro's distress call makes it sound like he's doing the rest of the Sinestro Corps a favor by allowing them to show up and help him out. He's like, guys, I've been really greedy. I went off to fight Mongol by myself, and I feel you guys have earned the right to come and also fight Mongol as well. Even Des Trevius, one of the guys of the Sinestro Corps, is standing there as this little distress signals play. He's like, dude, even his distress signals are all haughty and full of himself. Like, I don't need you to come, but if you do, that's cool, that's fine, but if not, I'll just take care of it myself. It's just more a matter of me trying to share the fun with you. And as Sinestro Corps, they decide they're going to go help him out. They crash into War World. The Apex League member that was watching guard over Sinestro goes, why? Why would you even bring them here? Obviously, Mongol has the same little devices. He picked them up from Relic, you know, those little ring draining things that he had to suck all the rings dry. Well, he's strapped them all over War World and is using them to drain them dry. And he goes, oh, well, that's because you think I only sent one distress message. How cute. I actually sent two. And that's when a giant boom tube opens up and out steps the Sinestro Corps member, the newest one, the new god Becca, who has decided to don the ring, it looks like, and is stepping out to smote some War World peoples, something fierce. Which is a big turn for the Sinestro Corps. I guess they have a little more power on their side, what with a new god on their team.
Yep.
I still enjoy this book. It's my little fun. I love Sinestro. What can I say?
Yeah.
Just the character himself. I didn't think it was going to work because he is so full of himself, and so I'm gonna go it alone. He's the worst euchre partner you could possibly have because every hand he's like, I'm going alone. It's like, come on, man, let me play at least one hand. But in this case, it's working out well. It's working out really well.
Hey,
Next.
You're continuing on.
I am actually. I am continuing on to World's End number 21. I forgot that I had this coming up next.
Okay.
Where we had left off, Apocalypse is trying to nom on Earth 2. It has actually opened up and the outer shell of Apocalypse is trying to form around Earth 2 so it can basically consume the planet inside of itself. And Valzad, Power Girl, and Red Tornado are doing what they can to fend it off. But somewhere on Earth 2, there's an even bigger plan at stake because Batman, in this case Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father on Earth 2 is Batman, and Huntress have been trying to track down Green Arrow, and they have found him living in a giant robot out in the middle of the ocean. They go, hey, Green Arrow. Yeah, we had a message from Batman that said that you had the secret weapon that was going to help save Earth 2, and I assume it's this giant robot that you got here. Why have you been hiding it here? We could have really used it during all of these battles we've been having. And he goes, oh no, that's not the weapon. That's just where I live. And it turns out, he even makes mention that, I guess Black Canary left him because she couldn't be caged inside a giant robot. So I guess on Earth 2, it's, those two got together. Just tossing that out there as a value add. But he goes, no, that's not the weapon. Batman, as you know, prepared for anything. In this case, he was prepared to open a really awesome theme park at some point because he has mapped all of the DNA, history, and genomes of everything that has ever been on Earth 2 and put it on this handy-dandy little thumb drive. Isn't that awesome? So we can go rebuild Earth 2 somewhere or build a really awesome Jurassic Park theme park, and it would be super cool.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yes, until George
They
Munch
spared
shows
no
up.
expense.
Elsewhere in Atom's Haven, the underground safety place where all the survivors of Earth 2 have been hiding from the attack from Apocalypse, Dick Grayson and Ted Grant are looking for Brainwave, who has his son, Dick Grayson's son on Earth 2, his with Barbara Gordon. and they find all of the residents, or at least a large chunk of them, have been taken under the control of Brainwave, and he is leading them, quote-unquote, to safety, where they will all be his vassals and minions, and he is going to take all the escape crafts from Atom's Haven, and he goes, I will save you all, and they go, oh, I see my son over there, we should probably do something. But we'll do that next issue. The last part here, though, is the big ship, that USS Defiant Endurance, I believe is what it's called. The Ark that, Terry Sloan
the one we saw in, Future's End?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. The giant spaceship that they built to get as many survivors as they can off of Earth 2. That is where Terry Sloan, Mr. Miracle, Mr. Terrific, Fury, and Sandman. Sorry.
Okay.
I had to find my notes here. They're all there, and they're having a bit of an argument because Sloan is explaining that he had to make this universe look so much better to eat for Apocalypse than his own, and that's all he's been doing is just going from universe to universe and basically sacrificing these feeder universes off to Apocalypse to keep his particular Earth alive. And now he's willing to help save it, because if all of these people here can at least damage Apocalypse somewhat, it may slow down the amount of Earths he's eating. There's only 52 of them. I can't buy too much time, so if we could do some damage, that would be super cool as well. But that's when Apocalypse targets the ship and shoots all of its missiles and lasers at it, and he goes, don't worry, this is all according to plan, as all of the missiles hit the ship, and there's a giant explosion. Tisk, tisk, Terry Sloan, your plans are atrocious. So I guess we will find out next week, or this coming Wednesday, what happens next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the far future of 5 years from now.
5 years in the future.
New 52, Future's End, number 43. Great work, Andy McDonald. He's the cartoonier artist that has been in the rotation lately.
Yeah, you had mentioned that before. He handles a lot more of the comical aspects, at
Yes,
least.
and he gets to do all the funny stuff.
Yes.
That's become a new favorite trope of mine in this book. So Superman is back, and he's still mad at Batman, but very good at ignoring Lois Lane, just like the Superman of old. Galactiac, the giant brainiac, is annoyed that the transference beam from space was broken by the Atom, so now he is temporarily delayed and switches over to manual mode. Superman continues to give Lois a cold shoulder by flying off to fight Brainiac.
Well, way to go, Superman.
Yep. There's a gigantic city-destroying monster. I gotta give me a few minutes, Lois, all right?
At least give me 5.
Mm-hmm. So, Brother Eye seems to have taken control of New York City, and Mr. Terrific has gone completely nanners with the Stockholm Syndrome or whatever.
A little bit.
Yeah. Elsewhere inside Terrifitech, Plastique and former Red Robin Tim Drake, who, as we all know, is currently living under the name Caractacus Codswallop.
No.
They're being stalked by the future Plastique Spider Robot, when suddenly they run into their old pals Key and Coil, who are now working security there. Coil is freaking out and just throwing up all over the place because his connection to Earth's magnetic field has been severed, so that's why he's here. That's why he's been showing up. He didn't make much sense compared to some of the other characters.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes, a lot of hilarious conversations are had about how confusing it is to keep all the Batmans and Robins apart, and who Plastique's dating right now, and we get another wonderfully inappropriate Dick Grayson joke.
Yes! It was perfect.
Yep.
Perfect, especially with Red Robin going like, no, she's never met Dick Grayson.
Yeah. And of course, Caractacus is just like, hello, my last name is Codswallop, and you're not making any jokes?
Hey.
Come on. So when suddenly the Plastique Spider Robot attacks, Batman Beyond flies in to help, and it's a little mini freak out, and the robot is ready to kill people when Plastique heroically jumps her future self, and EYE cannot eradicate I because the Plastique robot can't kill herself.
Yes.
Or else she will cease to be. And so Plastique is able to make her future self explode as they go dramatically crashing through a window, and she barely survives by hanging onto a ledge. Batman Beyond pulls her in, and makeouts abound.
Da-na-na-na, as the music swells.
Mm-hmm. So Galactiac, by switching over to manual mode, is now piloting New York City like a giant rocket ship.
It is the intergalactic Vespa.
Yes.
He's like...
It's like the final episode of The Noozles, where everything got super serious. So they start to realize what's going on. Mr. Terrific has a total Joe Bluth moment as he realizes he's made a terrible mistake.
Oh, no.
Yes. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And we will pick up next week.
Yeah, again, loving the Future's End.
Yeah. higher stakes.
Much higher stakes, and it just keeps playing out. The characters are getting exactly the screen time I think they deserve, at least all the side characters that maybe aren't doing as much in the main story. I mean, they've been kind of shuffled off to the side for a lot of the main story, and they are getting their moments in the sun at least, and it's very fun. It's a very, very fun book now. So I'm quite happy.
And I hope Plastique Key and Coil get shunted off to the Batman Beyond book that's going to be starting up.
And Amethyst. So
okay, just keep on saying that, dude.
So what do you got coming up for round 2, Brian?
I've got Batman 39, Endgame, holy crap.
Yeah.
Gotham by Midnight, number 4, holy crap.
Yeah.
Star Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie, holy crap. And The Flash, number 39. We have no time whatsoever to do one of the best weeks of comics we've had in a long time.
I know, it's ridiculous. And then I have Batman Eternal number 47, Arkham Manor number 5, Catwoman, of number 39. And I will wrap up this episode with Justice League Dark number 39, so hold on a couple seconds. We'll be right back and we will go through those books.
Baby, I want you to know you are all I want to see. Oh, baby, you'll never feel low if you tag along with me. Oh, when you're near me, I see the world more clearly. Hold me, and I'll hold you too. I want to spend my time with you.
And we're back!
God damn. You even had a misfire because you thought I had clicked.
A click.
Yes. But we are back and we're in the Bat half of the show, so we're going to jump right in with Batman Eternal number 47. Kelly, fill me in. What's been happening in Batman Eternal?
Lasting for an eternity.
And who's been in it?
Batman.
Yeah, very good. But in this case, it is Batman dealing with someone that is masterminding the teardown of everything that Batman holds dear. And Julia Pennyworth, the daughter of Alfred Pennyworth, because Batman went off to find Ra's al Ghul earlier, is the only one left in the Batcave when Catwoman calls and sets up a meeting. So she shows up and they have, she actually dons one of those, hologram masks that they've used before in Batman. And instead of having like a different face, instead it's just a pure white mask with just a bat symbol over the eyes. It actually looks really cool. So I guess that's going to be her on the streets look kind of thing. I don't know if she's ever going to go on the streets, period, but I guess if she does, that's what she's going to do. And Catwoman fills her in that she found out in her book that someone gave all of the villains, all of Batman's main villains, a blank check and said, go order what you want, whatever you need to destroy Gotham City.
Some of them just bought a mansion and a gigantic jumpy castle, didn't they?
They did. They did. And some of them got like a giant vault with a $sign on the front and they filled it with gold bullion. Yes. So, you know, you have to have somewhere to swim. So that's what they're going to do. Yeah. So she goes back and says it's time to call in the Bat family for the assist. And we basically get the breakdown of who all's going after who, where Scarecrow is going to go after, Batwing is going to go after Scarecrow. Red Robin is going to go after Clayface, who has used his money to set up a movie studio and is going to film movies of him as Batman getting killed by, other old actor friends of his dressed up as the Joker and stuff like that. I guess he's going to do bad PR for Batman.
Okay.
Mr. Freeze, meanwhile, is recreating a scene from the 50s for Nora that, as we know, is not his actual wife, was a patient of his when he was just a cryogenic doctor. I don't know if you knew that.
Kind of.
Yeah, that was one of the big reveals from the first Batman annual, that it was, Victor Freeze is so sick that he just became obsessed with one of his patients that's been in cryo since before he was even born.
Okay. So
that's who Nora is, and he's trying to build this whole big scene for her, and that's where Bluebird is, Harper Row, as we know her more. And Joker's daughter has taken over the fun house where Barbara Gordon got her father was taken after she was shot in the spine. So, of course, Batgirl gets assigned to that one. And finally, Red Hood has wandered into a sleazy bar on the hunt for Bane because Bane has taken the money to build a giant robot suit in order to crush all of the luchadors in Gotham City, because they're about to have a big match where there's like 12 luchadors little hopping around all over the place and Bane in a giant robot suit to smash him. So I assume Bane heard the little speech that whoever's behind all this and said destroy the bat, and he went, "Oh, I thought you said destroy the mat. That's what I was going to do."
They're barely wrestling. It's like swing dancing. What is this?
But that's what all the Bat family is doing. And while all this is going on, though, some mysterious shadowy figure infiltrates the Batcave, and they do the worst thing imaginable. They leave the door open in the Hushquarium, letting out Hush. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Where off camera we find out that there's some sort of family ties with the whole thing. It's Hush gets out, takes Julia captive, locks Alfred in the Hushquarium, so I am assuming it's an Alquarium now.
Okay.
And says that whoever it is, this mastermind behind it, has some sort of familial ties. We think. It could have just been a little turn of phrase again, but we'll find out. And he ends up strapping Julia to one of the escape pods and launches her out into the bay. And as she comes up, she sees all of Gotham City is catching on fire because of all the villains leading their little tirade across it. And Hush tells Alfred, well, let's see if she's worthwhile. Let's see if she can fight her way back to you. That's the only reason I didn't kill her. You treated me like a son when I was a kid, so I'll at least not murder your actual child. But we'll see if she's actually worthwhile. But for now, what I'm going to do is destroy all of the Bat toys because, God, that Bruce Wayne, he would never share his toys when we were kids, so I'm just going to break them all. And he powers down the Bat plane as Batman is trying to fly back from Ra's al Ghul's base as it crashes into the ground with Batman inside. Surely, that is the end of Batman.
Yes.
So obviously things ramping up pretty quickly in Batman Eternal.
So Batman is dead. Let's move on to, in the future, Batman Endgame Part 5, which takes place after Batman Eternal, where Batman is perfectly fine.
Oh, man.
Actually, you know what? An upside-down bat signal flies over Gotham. It was a secret pact between Gotham villains to do when Batman finally died.
Oh, well, they were a little late.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Yes.
Clearly, he just died in my book. I mean,
yeah. So earlier, when he was alive, Batman confronted the Court of Owls about the Dionysium that Joker is using to be immortal, and how their electrum that keeps their talons alive is derived from a corrupted version of it.
Okay.
There's another upside-down Gotham City in their lair. How many upside-down Gotham cities are underneath Gotham?
Well, we know of the one in Batwing, at least. The actual
That's at least
mirror
two.
copy of the city.
Isn't there one in Catwoman, too?
No, that's just an underground world.
Yeah,
that's an underground continent.
Come on,
No,
Kelly.
no, I thought
Come on, Kelly.
I thought that there was an underground or an upside-down Gotham
That was
City.
Batwing.
That was Batwing,
Oh,
where the gigantic fish monsters live underneath
Yes.
Gotham City.
And then below that is where the underground cave cities are, where Joker's daughter beats up people wearing coats of pennies.
Yes.
So then underneath that is the continent that's underneath there?
Yes, and underneath
That is a creamy layer of nougat.
and underneath that is where Karaku, the volcano god, lives.
Ooh. Batman confronts the Talon Uriah Boone, who is 400 years old, and he demands to know if the Joker existed
Does he have
back
a raccoon
then.
hat on?
I don't know. We gotta get through this, Sean. While that's happening, Joker infiltrates the Batcave, chops off Alfred's right hand, ding, and steals all the trophies from the Batcave. He then uses it to throw a spinal fluid pun-themed Ferris Bueller parade in the middle of the insanity of the Joker zombies as a celebration of his victory over Gotham City. There is a robot T-Rex float. Oh, fantastic. And
Is there a giant penny float? There should be a giant penny float. Did he just take everything out of the Batcave?
It's like the back. No, wait, the back of his throne is the Joker thing, but I'm pretty sure the penny's there.
Okay, fair enough.
Batman just sits there watching as Joker slightly changes the words to twist and shout to words that are almost sort of close to lumbar, and that means he's taunting him with spinal fluid illusion, Sean. So Batman gathers up Red Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Bluebird to fly the bat signal upside down, psych, which then calls all the big-time Batman villains to the celebration point. Penguin, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Bane, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, and Clayface.
Was Bane crushing a bunch of luchadors still?
As he was. And they all have to team up to face the Joker. And as the Joker sees them coming, he just gets even happier because he still has the best trick of all up his sleeve. Yes. Hopefully it's that gigantic card folded up in there somehow.
I would hope so.
Yes. The backup story. The crazy inmates who all have a Joker origins get ready to tell the... Yes. Get ready to tell the doctor the last one. But the last inmate tells everyone that the doctor, Maureen Zahir, has the last origin. She's been writing a book about the true story of the Joker. So apparently, with all of her investigation, she found out his name was William Distel. His parents abandoned him when his sister went missing, and he went through a bunch of foster homes. He would always pit kids against each other, and he was just like the worst kind of bully humanly possible. He ran away when he was 16, joined the Red Hood gang, and his blood was found in a vat of lye, housing a body that might have been the original Red Hood. But the dental records didn't match. This all ties in with that awesome double-sized issue. So he's just a normal person, a psychopath who enjoys pitting people against each other, and the inmates get mad at her. No, he's a rogue Batman army operative. No, he's a robot. She locks herself in her office with her books when she gets saved by her writing partner, Eric Border.
Yes.
Haha, lady, I lied to you too. I paced off all those foster parents.
Or did I lie to you?
Or did I? Yeah. Did you like the stories they told you? I thought the robot one was a hoot. So he gives her a gun with 5 bullets to kill all the people whose stories were wrong. Oh, and here's an extra bullet just in case no one was right. And as the inmates close in on her, she fires off all 6 bullets.
Yep.
And the Joker gets away. No one knows what my origin story is.
Holy crap.
Perfect ending to that. Holy crap.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the one that, when it started, I was like, man, this is really kind of a creepy little backstory that they're doing. It has just enough of the tie-in to the main story, like a flavor piece saying, hey, look, we don't know what the origin of the Joker is. He could be eternal. We don't know.
Yeah.
But then was its own thing, so much so that ending just fit perfectly in with it. Loved it. The backup was, I don't want to say worth the price alone, but it was really, really good. So moving on, I have Arkham Manor number 5. We're going to do some more Batman stuff because Batman is fighting against the Killer in the Walls because Arkham Asylum in Batman Eternal was destroyed and Wayne Manor was taken from him during Batman Eternal as well. So that was where they were temporarily housing all of the people, and someone's been in the wall pulling out people, all the inmates, and I guess drilling into their heads and doing all sorts of weird things and murdering them. So Batman finally finds this guy.
He's just trying to install a new door. It's like that episode of Friends where the drill just goes right by Chandler's head. You know.
He's just
Oops,
really
my mistake.
bad at it.
Yeah.
Really bad at it. But he needs the inmates to see that he's willing to protect them just as much as the normal citizens of Gotham. So he pushes this guy through the wall out into the front yard and then beats him up. And it turns out it was just one of the workers that was hired to renovate Wayne Manor. And he just decided to stay and went crazy and was killing people and hiding in the walls. And it's just this crazy guy. That's all he is. Just an insane person. And he goes, okay, well, I guess we'll lock you back up. And Mr. Freeze is outside making snow angels because he didn't want to escape. He had nowhere to go. And finally, afterwards, he turns into this guy to the people at the asylum, the Arkham in charge, and says, okay, well, who got out during the breakout? Well, Silverlock got out. We don't know where she is. We can't find her. Of course, the Olive's mom from Gotham Academy. Jack Shaw, who was Batman's secret disguise that he was in there as. Seth Wickham, the guy that they've been actually following this whole time that Batman originally locked up in there and was having a whole bunch of conversations with. And then, of course, Victor Freeze. And he goes, no, he's over there. And that's when, Mr. Freeze starts throwing snowballs at Batman and Arkham, whatever. It's weird. So Batman tells him, don't worry about it. Leave Shaw and Wickham to me. And as he peels out, he just tosses a whole bunch of snow all over Mr. Freeze as he's peeling out. Mr. Freeze is all like, hey, that was rude, man. Mr. Freeze is so weird in this book, honestly. But it ends with him returning to Seth Wickham's house. his parents' house. And as he opens the door, you find broken stuff all over the place, and there's blood, and there's just a blood-covered picture of his family laying on the ground. He's like, may have been a little slow on this one. So I guess we'll have a much darker ending to this now that Mr. Freeze isn't in the book anymore. Or maybe he'll show up and make ice cream cones for everyone. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, moving on to Gotham by Midnight number 4. So Jim Corrigan and Internal Affairs Sergeant Rook are getting drunk at a bar when the bartender sprouts an articulated fungus heart out of the back of his neck.
You know, this is really starting to get annoying. Whenever he wants to go drinking, these fungus hearts just keep sticking out all over the place.
So the swamp monsters are coming to get them. It already has Rook. Drake and Tar are outside the bar to meet up with them when they get attacked as well, and all the bugs are sprouting into tentacle monsters in the area. The whole neighborhood is being attacked, and it gets so bad that Corrigan can't hold the Spectre back, and he arrives to take on the monster. The hand goes off, and it goes off.
Yes.
Oh.
Biblical style.
Yes. So Tar over the phone can translate what the monster is saying, and it's asking him if he knows what Gotham is. It wanted to goad the Spectre out of Corrigan so it would judge Gotham because it's a town built on top of the genocide of its original inhabitants, who are all buried in Slaughter Swamp. They are speaking a dead language. They brought smallpox. They were just trying to kill you with alcohol. Do you see what I'm getting at, Jim? So Tar and Drake are off trying to help in a car, trying to outdrive Judgment.
Yes.
Yes,
you could
Judgment.
Do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just have to take it 1/4 of a mile at a time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe
Maybe do a little Tokyo drifting while you're at it.
Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know.
All over the place. So, Sister Justine and Lieutenant Weaver have to go into the fray because Lieutenant Weaver, the guy we knew nothing about, is obviously super in on everything. And the last thing we see is some Old Testament, real Wrath of God type stuff as Spectre and the otherworldly fungus swamp monster of dead Native Americans are about to have a biblical Power Ranger battle above Gotham as we see the bat plane flying in between them. Holy crap, it's so good.
It really is.
Oh,
it really
God.
is. And they met their obligatory by 4th issue Batman arrival.
Yes.
They did it. So I'm assuming we're going to have Batman either trying to break up the fight and just
he
getting
showed up in
tossed
one like
around.
little flashbacks.
Yeah, I know. He was there in the first one too. But I'm assuming he's going to try and break it up, probably just get swatted aside, and then it'll just be the misfit team of the police group there that actually save the day. But, man, so good. So good. So very good. Honestly, I cannot recommend this book enough. Cannot. Especially if you're into the creepy magic stuff.
Yeah.
If you're into the more mobster stuff, a little bit more grounded, that's what we have coming up next. That's Catwoman number 39, which has been dealing with the crime underground of Gotham City ever since Catwoman took over as the crime boss of Gotham. And it's, all of these issues that have been going on have been framed by letters, like the beginning and end have been framed by these excerpts taken from the letters between the Borgia family. So it's got this whole royalty feel to it, like this inner family strife, blah, 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 blah. It really fits in with the story that's going on. But Black Mask was not happy to see Catwoman take over as crime boss, has finally made his move to step up and starts buying out all of the property legally all over Gotham. And just shows his hand on who's working with him by where he buys property, i.e. he would, Selina's able to figure out that, well, if he owns this property, then obviously he's working with these people that were in this area and these people in this area, or else they would just swallow it up and take it right back. And so she decides she's going to meet with her people, and she talks to them, and they say, well, we got to do something. We probably just have to get you out there and make a move. And she goes, well, let's donate a whole bunch of money to the museums. We'll see if we can't draw them out. And she does so, shows up at the museum donation thing, and someone takes a hit at her. They take a shot, try to kill her, but before they can catch them, whoever it was is murdered. They're just killed. And they go, well, I guess we're not getting any questions. We should get you out of town entirely, Catwoman. You can't be here. And she goes, no, I can't leave. I have to stay here. I'm just going to go talk to my brother and see what's going on. And she goes and talks to him, Mason, who has been working with Black Mask, and says, what's the deal? Why are you guys taking hits out on me here? And Mason goes, whoa, I didn't sign off on any hits. I wanted you to just fold in under Black Mask. I want all of our families to join together. And she finally figures out that what he wants is to take over the Calabrese family. because he's the oldest. He should be the one next in line. It shouldn't have been Catwoman. It should have been him. So, apparently this is all a power play by him. And, meanwhile, Keyes and Alvarez are getting yelled at because they've overstepped their boundaries because someone called in an arrest on Black Mask. And Keyes and Alvarez were the cops that showed up to do it. And their LT is yelling at them, "You've gone too far. You guys are renegades. You can't do that.
I'm retiring tomorrow."
Of course, they still want to keep their play in on it, but no one trusts Alvarez whatsoever because he's been seen talking to the people that work for Black Mask. They spread all those rumors that he's been dating Catwoman as well, and she showed up and was making out with him in the police station, and so there's a whole bunch of internal strife in the police department as well. But as the battle lines are drawn, one last meet takes place between Selina and the new Catwoman, the daughter of the Hasegawa clan, who is taking on the mantle to kind of work outside. And then there's just this, I guess we're going to be on opposite sides of the battle. I don't know. You got to do what you have to survive. I'll have to do what I have to do. And then they kiss, and it's kind of weird. There was no real setup for it, but even afterwards, Catwoman's like, was that me kissing her or me kissing the suit goodbye? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out afterwards. Just felt kind of awkward, honestly. It wasn't earned, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. There has been very, very little interactions between those two characters. So for that to happen, it just didn't feel earned to me whatsoever.
Okay.
But it all comes to a head where Penguin has decided to throw in his lot with Black Mask. Says, hey,
You need some long-range projectiles?
I have so many projectiles that could hunt down Catwoman. They know her silhouette. I assure you, it will work out perfectly. It almost worked last time. But they send a messenger to demand Catwoman's surrender, and she takes the messenger hostage and requests that they send Mason to negotiate his release. So she's gonna have one last conversation with her brother to try to sort this whole gang war out before it explodes into fatalities. Cause, Brian, there's a gang war coming to Gotham City.
Who would have thought? All right, moving on to Star Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie number 7.
Before you move on, though,
okay,
it is a really good book, Catwoman.
Okay.
It's that little kiss thing I don't feel was earned, personally, but the inter-gang rivalries and all of the power plays being done, it's a very grounded street-level book, but it's much more of a Godfather style, who's backstabbing who. It makes for a very interesting read. So, move on. Sorry.
Now, the exact opposite of this, G.I. Zombie number 7. The James Bond villain lair in Utah is about to explode Jared's undercover partner, Carmen King, is on the run. She's one of the few people that knows it isn't a drill and is going to get away. In the confusion, Jared is able to follow along and hear Carmen and her friend's conversation, and he's able to let Carmen know that he's okay and they're still looking for her. Jared lets a guy know that the base is going under for reals, is able to get a phone to Gravedigger and alert him as to what's going on. Jared drives off like a boss as the base explodes in a mushroom cloud. Forrest, the evil James Bond villain, has a bunch of cohorts on a plane to their next safe house / evil base, and he knows
I hope it's in a volcano. I hope it's in Karaku, the volcano god. He needs the Bond villain lairs.
Yeah, but he knows that someone he has on the plane blew his cover. And, Carmen is just kind of doing the Johnny Carson, Jon Stewart, like, So, Jared's wreck gets discovered by some doofuses who try to help him, but oh my gosh, it's a zombie! He's like, well, yes, I am a zombie. That's not very nice or progressive.
What do they do afterwards?
Well, they drive off into the raided area and turn into zombies themselves. Jared takes them out like it's the most boring thing in the world, and
zombies.
Pardon me while I squish your head. Okay, with my bare hands. So he gets picked up by some members of his team. He alerts Gravedigger to the fact that the same contagion that was in their missile at the last city is in their bomb. So they're going to keep trying to zombify parts of the nation.
Yep.
Carmen winds up in San Francisco and figures her cover's blown, so she sneaks her way out of the compound using the classic "I gotta pee" gambit, my favorite, and sets off all the alarms, and has to shoot a bunch of people and whatnot to get out.
She even trips over the string with all the cans on it. That was in the hallway.
That I would not have been surprised if that happened in this book at this point. She finds a friendly hippie on a microbus and is able to get out one last call to Gravedigger and Jared about her location before she gets stopped by a battalion of armed guards. It's super badass.
Yeah.
For lack of any better term.
Yeah.
Next is going to be the end. I'm so sad, but I'm
Yeah.
excited too.
Honestly, this book is the exact situation of why I'm so, I don't want to say concerned, but like holding my breath when it comes to the post-convergence stuff that's coming out. Because this book has done nothing wrong whatsoever.
No, not at
nothing
all.
wrong. I mean, the quality of the book has been there. It's been
The art's been
fun.
fantastic the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so from a quality level, there's nothing wrong with this book, but it just didn't find an audience because it's just such a focused thing. I guess if you look at it by the cover, if you just look at the cover and read it and go, oh, it's a war book with a zombie.
Yeah, the
guy
cover's
on it.
never really matched up with anything that was in the book ever.
It really
that
doesn't.
didn't help.
No, but I mean, it just felt like it was very, very targeted. And that's what most of these books after Convergence feel like they're going to be, just very targeted books, which I'm looking forward to, but I'm just hoping people give it the chance because this is, as I said, the perfect example of what I'm afraid of post-Convergence, that there's going to be all these high quality books that are just absolutely fine, but if people don't get past that cover, no one's going to read them. And I'm like, holding my breath.
Oh, well, I'll be keeping an eye open for that trade so I can buy it before it sells out. So.
Yes, most definitely. So my last book for this episode, I think you got one more after me, is Justice League Dark number 39, to keep it with the creepy zombie stuff, where they had been tossed through the past, the future, and the present after the House of Mystery had exploded. But now we get to see who was behind all of the attacks on the timeline itself. Who do you think it was, Brian?
Oh.
It was Pralaya.
Oh, the Pralaya.
The Pralaya.
Okay. Who the hell is
Pralaya? The
Pralaya?
darkness that existed before creation, of course.
Okay, I see.
Duh. I mean, obviously we're going to have an actual fight scene here when they're fighting against she who was the darkness before creation.
Okay.
Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark. Come on, guys. Just fight something.
You just hang out with the Flash again or something.
Just all these metaphorical villains. I don't need metaphor battles. I need like an actual antagonist. Like,
what's Asmodel doing? Come on.
But each member of the team struggles against her, causing her to ask why any of them wouldn't want the world to just end and all of the universe to just end, because it's like, you're cursed as a vampire and you lost everything that you love, and Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, you're not even alive. Come on, man, you've been living a torturous thing. And they all fight against it, except for one, Zatanna, who just goes, you know, she's kind of right. This has sucked. This has really, really sucked this entire time. So, I say we all do it. Let's just plunge into oblivion, team. Yeah, woo! And, she kind of drops their shields and they all go plunging into oblivion. And as the panels fade to darkness, there's one last spark of light as we see the House of Mystery appearing there. And, I'm assuming picking all of them up, and they will, I don't know if it was a ploy by Zatanna or if it was just her actually just tired of all of this. Like, when do I get to punch something in the face? Because I can't punch a cloud in the face. How do I do that?
I start hanging out with Emily Strange and her dice again. Come on.
I guess. I don't know. It's a personal taste thing. It's entirely a personal taste. When you have characters like this all tossed together, you would think they're all driven by internal strife, their own internal strife. So you would think each of them put together would either find a bond for them to, like, I don't know, have more scenes of them bonding with one another because they're outcast from society, or
I don't know.
Character development in general. It just seems very much like they are static characters dealing with all of these metaphorical things that are happening around them, and it just hasn't been my particular cup of tea. So, moving on.
Moving on to the Flash. The Gentleman Ghost looking guy that I've been talking about the past few issues. Is actually Overload. He is super connected to the frequencies of electronics.
Ooh, and hates cell phones.
And it drives him insane, but it powers his energy blasts, so when he goes crazy from them, he kills people with his powers. So Iris West, who is slowly taking on all the properties of her TV counterpart, is just being awful.
She's awful in the TV show.
She's awful? You guys are mean.
I don't like her.
She is tracking down the news story that the Flash is a killer.
You just don't like her because she turned down your boy.
No.
Yeah.
And teams
Good for her anyways.
and teams up with Patty Spivot since she is super suspicious of Future Barry on account of the person that could have only been killed by Speed Force powers, and the Flash is the only one with Speed Force powers.
And he's been a complete D-bag the entire time he's been around.
Yeah, so the Future Flash tracks down Overload to the citywide ceremony to turn on some new LexCorp free Wi-Fi towers.
Nice!
And oh man, would that annoy Overload. So Flash is about to kill him before he eventually kills hundreds of people, but Patty and an unbelievably smug Iris stop him and delay him enough for the Wi-Fi to get turned on and Overload to power up. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, in the Speed Force,
Are they riding dinosaurs?
We're getting there.
Are they flying on
Just let me
pterodactyls?
finish this up because we've only got so much time. So meanwhile, in the Speed Force, our Flash, Selkirk, the Past Man, and their merry band of red shirts that are not the X-Men, fight a bunch of Quetzalcoatl's. They're Quetzalcoatl awful. They even eat.
Dude, that was bad for you.
That's my favorite thing ever, and I was so happy I could use it. They even eat not Cyclops. No, not Cyclops.
Did
We
he have
hardly
two eyes?
even knew ye.
Was he Biclops?
He had the future visor that is also
but
the
he had
Cyclops.
two eyes underneath, so he was Biclops.
Yes, Bicyclops. So once they deal with them, they get led to the Speed Force, to a Speed Force temple that looks all ceremonial and stuff, and that's how they're going to get out. So Selkirk, the old-timey adventurers club type guy who wanted to learn about the Speed Force, learned about it but never knew how to control it. And just as Flash notices the cave paintings of Selkirk sacrificing the Flash to call down the lightning, Barry falls victim to his only weakness, getting pistol whipped in the back of the head. Oh, it's his kryptonite.
It really is.
So it all culminates beautifully because there's all kind of, jumbling together. I just simplified it.
Sure.
So it all culminates beautifully in a split panel where the future Flash and the present Flash are both lying down prone about to be murdered by their enemies in both timelines.
It's still
very
better,
good.
It's still better than Hal Jordan's kryptonite, which is coconuts falling on his
Yes.
head.
Yeah.
Or random household object bonking him on the noggin.
Yeah. But the Flash story is really picking up now.
Yeah. I like the way it
I was
actually
souring
came
on
to
a little
head.
bit, but it really,
Same.
really came together on this one.
Even the last issue, if it wasn't for the dinosaur attack and the dinosaur riders and the steampunk Indian cowboy thing that they had going on, that caught my interest, but the future Flash stuff was kind of like, okay, I guess we're doing that. This one turned it around a bit for me, so I'm happy to see it's found its voice, or it was at least setting up things, and now we're getting the payoff for it. Most definitely. But that's it. That wraps us up.
Yeah.
That's all of our books for this week here on March 1st, 2015. Right, Kelly?
Sure.
Right. So as a reminder to you guys, go out there and buy these books. Yes, that just came out this
Yeah,
week.
they're probably still available.
I'm
It's
sure
very
they
timely.
are. They might even be $1 off if people are nice at your local comic shop.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But make sure you support them, because if you don't buy them, they don't make them. And, we're coming to the end of a bunch of arcs here. Obviously, with Convergence a month away, it's basically all of the last issues or two. So you don't have to buy the issues themselves for these ones. The trades will be coming out sometime.
Eventually.
Or you can at least figure out what's kind of going towards something you would like to read, and you could even backtrack on a lot of these titles. Just make sure you support that what you like, because if you don't buy it, they don't make it, and nobody wins. So next week's books.
Hey, I've got them all pulled up if you want me to, believe it or not.
I'm walking on air.
Yeah.
I never thought I could feel so free, flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
I don't know this song.
You don't know
The Greatest American Hero?
No.
the greatest blonde afroed superhero of all time.
No.
Take like a 70s really skinny guy with a 70s blonde fro and give him superpowers. But with a 1970s TV budget. He was in wheelbarrows a lot. I remember that.
Didn't someone mix up his dry cleaning and that's how he got the super suit?
No, aliens came down and gave it to him. He was the original Animal Man.
All right. Animal Man.
So do it. Do all the books.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I got rid of it because I had to pull up a picture of Greatest American Hero.
Fine.
No, we've got Swamp Thing 40, We've got Infinity Man and the Forever People 8, Aquaman and the Others 11.
These are the ends of a bunch of these books.
Yeah. Earth 232, Earth 2 Worlds End 22, Green Arrow 40, Futures End number 44. We've got Batman Eternal 48, Detective Comics 40.
It feels like you're reading it in order of what we would do at the
I
next
know.
time. How are you doing
it's
this?
My prognosticating powers. Grayson number 8.
Oh, so good.
It will be good. Yeah. Harley Quinn number 15, Justice League 3015, and Lobo, I don't know the number, and Green Lantern number 40.
Yeah. So that also starts our movie madness time as well, because it's all of the alternate movie poster covers.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have a little bit of musical accompaniment for some of these books. As you guys know though, we are doing a little bit of catch up, so that particular episode will be released on Wednesday.
Pay attention to your pod blasting
You'll
devices.
figure it out. I'm not going to do the whole dates thing, but even though it's March 1st, it's coming out this Wednesday. You'll know it. So make sure you keep an eye out for that one. As I said, we are behind on questions, and I'm really behind on correspondence. I have a backlog of emails from like the last month or so that I need to catch up on, so I'm not ignoring you guys. I promise you I will be replying to them as quickly as I humanly can. As you know, we're digging ourselves out of a bit of a hole, so bear with me a little bit. If you do want to reach out and contact us, though, Kelly, what can they do?
Type DCR podcast into the internet.
Yes, and then hit enter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's always the failing point.
Mm-hmm.
People kept doing that. We would have gotten 10 times the emails, but people just typed DCR podcast in and sat there and went, do I just talk to it now? Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't type anymore. I just say, Surrey, find me, whatever I'm looking for, and it goes there. I don't type.
Well, some of us are not as fancy pants as you. Some
I
of us
don't
still have to
type
use
my
keyboards.
Your pants are very fancy.
They are.
Yeah.
And I don't type my texts anymore either. Now that I've learned that I could just hit the little microphone thing and it will type it for me.
You're lazy.
I am
You've
lazy.
grown lazy and weak over the years.
I love when I get emojis from her that just say the words like poop emoji.
Nice.
But
Nice.
it does make it a little difficult when you're saying, do you want dinner? ?
And it'll type out question mark?
It will type an actual question mark, but the fact that I have to talk to my
You
phone
look like even
that.
more of a crazy person if people are passing by. That's all.
Yes.
That's all. Nothing new.
Super into punctuation. What can I say?
Yes.
Comma.
Chameleon?
Yes, exactly.
And then I have to correct the fact that after saying period, I have to say
Don't use
lowercase
ellipses.
a.
Ellipses are for the weak. But that's it.
That's
going
how
to
I
wrap
speak.
us up.
I speak in.
I speak in ellipses too. The magic
I
of
speak in
editing.
ampersands.
Yes. The magic of editing in this show takes out so many ellipses in my sentences. So that's going to do it for us. Do you guys have anything before I go to work?
No. Go right ahead and go to work, man.
Okay, appreciate it. So, everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we will talk to you so very soon.